So I heard that we're transitioning to a more analog lifestyle in 2026. Well, as someone that's been chronically offline and thoroughly enjoying it for a little over a year, I wanted to share some ways that I've been able to do just that, be chronically offline, more analog, and more present in real life. And of course, before we get there, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Sky Britney, and I'm a holistic and spiritual wellness practitioner, multidisciplinary artist, and emerging Caribbean historian who uses books, wellness, and art to center the Caribbean diaspora. But more importantly, on this channel, I'm just a woman in her early 30s on a journey of self-recovery, rediscovery, and navigating the ins and outs of this whole journey of life, in hopes that it helps both you and I feel less alone and maybe even inspire you to share your own journey. All right, enough of that intro. Let's get into the video. All right, number one is one that I know you have heard time and time again, and that is get a hobby. Get 3, get 5, get 10. Get a hobby and extra points if the hobby is free, low stakes, and or budget friendly. So it's definitely kind of interesting because I know there's been a lot of discourse relating to hobbies and how it's kind of become like this gateway to more capitalism and more overconsumption. And so I definitely urge you to be mindful about the hobbies that you are trying and why you are trying them. I've seen so many intriguing videos where people are talking about how hobbies have really become this thing where we're not doing it for fun or for stress relief or for nervous system regulation anymore. We're doing it so that we can post about it. And I feel like this definitely takes away from how and why hobbies work and why they're necessary for our overall well-being. So with that in mind, again, I definitely urge you to try free hobbies, hobbies that are low stakes and or budget friendly. And what I love about hobbies as well is that there's just so many things that you can do. You can do hobbies by yourself, with loved ones, in a group. You can also use hobbies as a way to meet and connect with new people as well. And I actually have a list of hobbies here. So, bookish anything. As someone that started their bookish journey last year, well, in 2024, I can definitely say the bookish community has been literally the most supportive, cool community ever. I just feel like most everyone that I've come in contact with has been just so sweet and welcoming, and I definitely enjoy and love that energy. So if you are interested in reading, or if that's a journey that you are looking towards taking, I would definitely say join the bookish community. And again, when it comes to overconsumption, this is just a sweet reminder that libraries are free. And to be quite honest, I just started buying books again in October for my birthday, but for a majority of my bookish journey, I have been a library and Kindle girly, and that has helped immensely with making my bookish hobby and journey cost effective. Other things that you can do that are cost effective: coloring books. I know that there are coloring books that are like $20, $30. You can go to Dollar Tree and get a coloring book for $125 and a packet of color pencils for $125. Other hobbies are painting, calligraphy, which I've just started doing, and it's so fun. You can try cooking, puzzle making, clay making, which I also just started, and I'm obsessed. You can do scrapbooking and all types of creative journaling, including junk journaling. You can try embroidery. You can do art galleries and museums. Another thing that I really started to prioritize is making my weekends filled with art. I love, love, love filling my weekends up with art gallery dates and museum dates, and just being able to see Black art. It's so beautiful and so inspiring, and I definitely highly recommend checking out local galleries and museums in your area. Some other things I have here: learn a new language or a new skill, and hello, YouTube University, free. And the beauty about hobbies is that you get to pick it up, put it down, and rotate them as often as you like, because they will always be there. And the point of hobbies are to have fun, are to release, to relax, and enjoy whatever task or hobby or thing that you're doing. It's definitely supposed to be a way for you to do less and be more and unwind. All right, analog lifestyle hack number 2, and this was something that really did transform the way that I showed up in life, and that is a sweet reminder to find and have things to look forward to on a daily, weekly, monthly, seasonally, yes, basis. So this was actually something that a loved one told me during a time in my journey where I just was feeling very hopeless, if I can be as blunt as possible. And essentially, when it comes to having something to look forward to, it's romanticizing your life, but also taking it to another level. So each week and really each day, I try to end my day with something that I'm looking forward to for the next day, or end my week with things that I'm looking forward to for the following week. And that helps me, one, be in a space of gratitude, and two, really gives me like that permission to romanticize those daily, mundane, simple tasks, rituals, and habits. So some things that I have here that I look forward to on a weekly basis are runs to the farmers market, cafe dates, and art exhibits. And really, whatever it is, having something to look forward to definitely shaped how I showed up in all of those spaces. So this one is more of a analog lifestyle hack, but really a mindfulness hack as well. Having things to look forward to definitely allows you to put your phone down and be present in real life. Now, 3 and 4 are a little bit intertwined, and that is get a camera or use your phone and document your life. So I'm someone that definitely uses my phone to document, but I also have to add that there's something so sweet and nostalgic about getting a camera out and documenting as well, especially if it's a film camera. The thing with film is that there's a level of patience that you acquire because you have to be very mindful and intentional about what it is that you're taking photos of. And then there's another level of patience that you acquire because then you have to wait for the photos to be developed to see what it is that you actually captured. So I absolutely love using film cameras and just cameras in general as a way to document my life, my journey, and all of those sweet moments that I'm romanticizing and looking forward to. And when it comes to documenting your life, whether you're using a film camera, DSLR, or simply your phone, I also recommend getting some of those prints printed out so that you can do photo albums, which, can we bring those back? Scrapbooking, and any other form of creative journaling. I feel like also being able to have those tangible prints does something to your brain chemistry that I am just obsessed with. And another thing that you can do, and this is more of an investment, but I think one that is worth it, if you don't have access to cameras, which I'll be honest, they are pretty inexpensive on eBay. But if you don't want to do that and you simply want to use your phone, but you still want to print out pictures, and you may not want to like go in person to have them printed out, you can also just get a digital photo printer like the Canon ivy. I do believe that HP has one as well. There are a few different options available, but I'll put mine on the screen for you guys to see. And it's the coolest thing because I can literally just print photos directly from my phone. So either way, no matter which way you flip it, turn it, or reverse it, I highly recommend documenting your life through photos and printing some of those photos out to do some photo albums, creative journaling, scrapbooking, and the whole nine. Now, let's get into the part 2 of this 3 and 4 duo, and that is the documenting your life. So why is that so important? I find that so often we rely on big moments to really show us or be a determining factor of what it is we deem as successful, as growth, as whatever it is that we're attaining to. But what I've noticed on my personal journey is that it's actually those small, mundane moments, those daily tasks, those daily rituals and routines and habits that make up those big moments that propel us into our goals and into our dreams. And it is those things that positively impact our well being. So, again, those friend dates, family celebrations, birthdays, random Tuesdays, all the joys, and even the not so joyous bits all deserve to be documented. And even if you never share it, just having something to look back at to see your journey, I promise, again, this does something to your brain chemistry. I am always enthralled. I'm always just amazed when I'm able to look back at my journey and see where I am now versus where I'm coming from, and all of those moments in between that led up to where I am now versus where I started. Number 5 is link up with loved ones in real life. So I know in this digital landscape, we are so used to connecting with people online. We're so used to catching up and keeping abreast with what people got going on Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads, on Twitter, or whatever platform that you predominantly use. And even if it's via text, we're so used to just being like, oh my God, I miss you. We should link up. And then we never do. So this is just a sweet reminder to link up. Something that I've put in practice recently is whenever I'm talking to a loved one that I genuinely miss and we talk about linking up, I have a follow-up question. When are you free? What's your schedule like? And let's plan something now. In this month, I already am meeting up with 3 of my loved ones, and I'm so excited because we get to connect in real life, in real time. We get to exchange energy in person, and there's something about that digitally can never compete with. The pandemic definitely forced us apart, and I'm not sure that we ever fully recovered from that. But with community being a vital part of our well-being, it's definitely time to get back to the old ways of connecting, and that is in person. Number 6, and I kind of did mention this in number 1, but it is to attend more in-person events. So think workshops, parties, networking events. Networking is not really my favorite. Whatever it is that interests you, if there's an in-person offering for that thing, try to stretch that muscle of getting out there and connecting with new people. Some other things that I've seen recently, there is this accountability group called Held that's hosted in NYC, and they do things like puzzle nights. It's a very low stakes way to meet somebody new, be a part of a community, which is, in a lot of ways, I think what we're all kind of searching for, especially when it comes to living a more analog lifestyle. We do want to get more connected with ourselves, of course, but we are also looking for a very intentional and mindful and resonant community. Think puzzle nights, game nights, in-person book clubs, which that's one of my goals for 2026. I will be hosting my first in-person book club meetup. Stay tuned. I think it's more of a Q2 goal, but stay tuned. Okay. Paint classes, pottery classes, anything that interests you. If there's an in-person offering, try to go. Even if it's once a month or once every other month, whatever that looks like for you, whatever you have the capacity and energy to commit to, try it out. Number 7. I promise we're almost done, guys. But number 7 is actually one of my favorites, and that's set a timer or alarm anytime you are on social media. And if you're looking to go cold turkey and you can handle it, just delete the app in general. So when it comes to setting a timer or alarm, that's really good for people who struggle with constantly picking up their phone. So a rule of thumb that I kind of go by, if there's a time where I pick up my phone and I can sense that I'm doom scrolling, I give myself between 10 to 20 minutes to doom scroll as much as I need to before I have to put my phone down and do something that's going to be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, or physically stimulating. Now, I've been in practice with this for a couple of years, so if it's not as easy for you to do that, of course, there are apps like Instagram that offer timers inside the actual app itself, or you can download apps on your phone that are specifically made with the intention of being a timer. And if you don't want to do that, to be quite honest, you can just use your phone. I use my phone all the time to set timers for certain tasks. For example, if I want to read for 45 minutes, I'll literally just set timer for 45 minutes.
45 minutes starting now.
And the second part of that is turning off your notifications on these apps. I haven't had my Instagram or TikTok notifications on for at least 5 years. And that has been so beneficial for my mental health. Every time a notification pops up on our phone, we are definitely more likely to pick up that phone, and thus begins the doom scrolling. And by the time that you've looked, you've spent an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on your phone doing absolutely nothing, brain rotting, and then you enter this spiral of feeling like you don't have enough time when the time is right there. We just didn't use it in the way that best suited our overall well being. So, to recap, alarms, timers, deleting the app if you can manage. But as a beginner hack, definitely turn off those notifications and work your way up to what it is that feels best for you. Now, 7 was my favorite. 8 might be a bit of my hardest, but it is something that I believe definitely assists with living a more analog lifestyle, and that is opting for screen-free mornings and evenings. This is the practice that I probably struggle with the most. I actually did it today for the first time in like a week. I got so much done today simply because I opted for a screen-free morning. And if this is something that you struggle with as well, give yourself grace. Maybe you pick up your phone in the morning and instead of going to your text messages or scrolling on Instagram, you go on YouTube and you play a sound healing video. There are just so many different workarounds that I feel like we don't give ourselves permission to utilize because we feel like things need to be just like this straight arrowed way, and that's just not realistic. Nevertheless, being on your phone for an hour when you first wake up versus being on your phone for 2 to 5 minutes is drastically better. But of course, the hope is that you completely ixnay screen time in the mornings. And I promise you feel a ton times better. And the same thing with the evenings. What I found that works for myself is when I realize that I am too on my phone in the evenings, I will switch out that task for a creative task. For example, last night I finally did my clay making, and that was so enjoyable, and I didn't miss my phone at all. Another thing that I will do is I will always put my phone down and opt for reading, because to be honest, I love getting lost in a good story, and my phone don't got good stories like that, if I'm being honest. And number 9, I would definitely say join or create a challenge that helps to keep you accountable. And extra points if you do this challenge in a group or at least with one other person. So over the years, I've done a variety and plethora of different challenges, whether they were challenges for my spiritual well-being, mental well-being, for productivity. I always have some sort of challenge going. For example, back in 2024, I created the Intentional Nourishment Challenge, which essentially was a 90-day invitation to prioritize your spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical well-being. And it was such a fulfilling challenge. And what I love about doing challenges with a group is that there's something about having to check in with your people that makes it easier in a way for you to be accountable. So for this year, I'm actually doing the anti-brain rot challenge that was created by 𝑗enna of This Story Ain't Over. And essentially, this is a challenge that kind of goes hand in hand with an analog lifestyle, the way that I see it anyways, because this is a challenge that invites you to think critically and to be mindful about what it is that you consume. And I think, again, when it comes to being in like this digital landscape, there are so many benefits to it. And I think in a lot of ways, there's also some things that can negatively impact us, especially if we aren't mindful. And I think one of the ways is that we're not thinking critically anymore. We are in a space of overconsumption. And I love that this challenge kind of invites us to combat that. I think that overall, that is what an analog lifestyle does as well. An analog lifestyle, being chronically offline, these are really invitations to live a more present life and to combat what is happening in this digital landscape. So yeah, if you can this year, I would definitely recommend, again, creating or joining a challenge, whether it be this challenge or another challenge that you see and you like. If the rules feel too hectic, too much, do what you have the capacity to do, but I just urge you to commit to whatever that capacity is. So for example, with the anti-brain rot challenge, one of the daily tasks is reading for 45 minutes a day. But if you feel like you don't have the energy or capacity to do that, Start with 15 minutes a day. But if you start with 15 minutes a day, I definitely urge you to stay devoted and committed to that thing. And I feel like in doing so, in that devotion, in that consistency, that is where you build this practice of not only living this analog lifestyle, but really being more present in your day-to-day life and activities. And that devotion in whatever it is that you do, whether it be the challenge, hobbies, community building, linking up with people in real life, your overall analog lifestyle, that devotion to self definitely positively impacts your overall well-being. And there's so many benefits to it that maybe I'll talk about in another video, because devotion was actually my word for 2025. And my journey of devotion tied in with this analog lifestyle definitely radically shifted how I show up for myself and how I view and perceive the world around me. Last but not least, and this was more of a bonus, is actually what I wrote here, but an analog lifestyle definitely requires you to literally be more analog. So pick up a pen and a paper and write out your goals, write out your to-do list, write out your thoughts, write out any and everything. There are so many studies that have shown that writing things out helps improve our memory, comprehension skills, and ability to critically think and retain information. So again, I urge you, put down the iPad and the phone and pick up a pen and paper and books and scissors and newspapers. Truly bring back this analog way of living. All right, y'all. So that is my list of ways to live an analog lifestyle. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you are looking to live a more analog lifestyle in 2026, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What are some ways that you plan on living a more analog lifestyle? What are some tasks or goals or things that you're dreaming up for living this chronically offline lifestyle? How do you plan to be more present in real life, in real time in 2026? I would love to hear all of your thoughts surrounding an analog lifestyle, if this is something that you would try out, or if you're just one of those people that's like, digital is where it's going, so digital is where I'm at. Either way, whether you're choosing to live more digitally or more analog, I pray that 2026 is a year of sweetness, of joy, of abundance, of love, of ease, and of everything that you desire and need. And with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. If you enjoyed this video, I'm going to ask that you subscribe, like, comment, and maybe even share it with a loved one and stick around for my next one. Until then, stay sweet. Bye, Muse.